You know, the exact moment. You're pulling out of your driveway, everything feels perfectly normal, you're heading to work, and then suddenly, you look down at your dashboard. And there it is, that little orange engine symbol just glowing back at you. I mean, it never happens when it's convenient, does it? It always seems to pop on right before a massive weekend road trip or literally the day before you're scheduled for a state emissions check. There's no explanation, there are no clear instructions, just one small glowing light that instantly causes this physical sensation of dread right in the pit of your stomach. Because suddenly, your car feels a whole lot more expensive. Well, let's dive into this because today's explainer is all about transforming that exact moment of panic into a calm, structured plan of action.
Look, let's be totally honest here. The very first thought you have when that light pops on isn't technical at all. It's highly emotional. You're immediately thinking, okay, how bad is this? Can I still safely drive to work? Is my car about to break down in the middle of the highway? And of course, the absolute biggest question of all, how much is this going to cost me? And you know what? That anxiety is entirely valid. The automotive repair industry can be super opaque, and unfortunately, it often capitalizes on this exact panic. Because when you're operating out of fear and confusion, you are much more likely to overpay. That is exactly why having a calm, objective framework is your absolute best defense against being overcharged. You do not need to be a master mechanic, but you absolutely need to understand your next decision. So here is our roadmap for today. 1. The check engine panic. 2. Steady versus flashing lights. 3. The 6-step assessment framework. 4. Safe checks and scan codes. And 5. Talking to your mechanic. Section 1. The check engine panic.
Okay, first things first. The check engine light is simply a warning signal. It is not a final, absolute diagnosis. Modern vehicles are incredibly complex machines, right? They are equipped with dozens of sensors monitoring literally everything from oxygen levels and engine temperature all the way to fuel pressure and exhaust emissions. When one of those sensors reports data to the car's central computer that falls outside of its safely programmed parameters, boom, it triggers the light. Honestly, think of it exactly like a medical symptom, like a fever. A fever tells you that your body is fighting something and needs attention, but a fever alone doesn't tell you if you have a simple common cold or a severe infection. The light itself does not say, hey, replace this exact part, and it certainly does not say this will cost exactly $500. It just says something needs attention. When you don't understand that distinction, you become entirely dependent on the very first explanation someone gives you.
Section 2. Steady versus flashing lights.
Now, there is a critical difference in risk level depending on exactly how that light presents itself on your dash. A steady, solid light usually means a problem has been detected, sure, but if the car feels and drives perfectly normal, you don't need to slam on your brakes in the middle of heavy traffic. You can stay calm, you have a little time to investigate soon, and you should just carefully monitor your driving behavior. A flashing check engine light, however, that is a completely different beast. This is an urgent, active emergency. If a steady yellow means check soon, a flashing light universally means stop right now. You absolutely must treat a flashing check engine light as an immediate threat to your engine and, quite frankly, to your wallet. So why is it so urgent? Well, because a flashing light typically signifies a severe engine misfire. This means your engine isn't burning the fuel properly, and unburned, raw fuel is being dumped directly into your exhaust system. And when that raw fuel reaches your catalytic converter, guys, the converter can literally overheat, melt internally, and fail in a matter of minutes. What could have been a super cheap spark plug replacement instantly turns into a multi-$1,000 catastrophe simply because the driver didn't pull over. So, rule of thumb, if it's flashing, turn the vehicle off as soon as it is safe to do so and get professional help. No exceptions. Remember, your dashboard is only one way your car communicates with you. The very second you notice that warning light, you need to assess the car's physical behavior using your actual senses. Is the car driving normally, or is the engine shaking and running rough? Does it feel weak and hesitant when you press the accelerator? Take a look at your temperature gauge. Is it rapidly rising toward the red zone? Do you smell raw fuel or burning plastic? Are there brand new grinding noises or, worse, visible smoke coming from under the hood? A steady light on a car that drives perfectly smooth is one very manageable situation. But a flashing light on a violently shaking car that smells like smoke, that is a completely different risk level. The key takeaway here is, we don't panic first, we assess first.
Section 3. The 6-step assessment framework. I absolutely love this system. It's the 6-step assessment framework basically designed to take all the guesswork entirely out of the equation. Let's walk through it deliberately, step by step. First, light. Identify immediately if it's steady or flashing to determine your urgency. Second, behavior. Use your senses to determine if the car feels normal or abnormal. Third, safety.
Based on the light and the behavior, make the critical call on whether you need to pull over immediately or if you can safely proceed to your destination. Fourth, scan. Get the digital diagnostic code read from the car's computer. Fifth, confirm. Now this is vital. Ensure the mechanic actually performs physical tests to confirm that code rather than just guessing. And finally, number 6, approve. You maintain total control of your wallet, only authorizing a repair when you completely understand what is being fixed and why. This systematic approach stops you from walking into a repair shop completely blind and entirely at their mercy.
Section 4. Safe checks and scan codes.
Now, before you ever even reach a mechanic, there are safe, non-technical beginner checks anyone can do. And let me be incredibly clear here. The goal is smarter decision-making, not risky, dangerous DIY repairs. We aren't rebuilding engines today. The most famous safe check, the gas cap. Your vehicle's fuel system is pressurized and relies on a vacuum seal. If your light comes on right after you leave the gas station, a loose or damaged gas cap can actually break that vacuum seal, which tricks the car's emissions computer into thinking there's a major evaporative leak. So safely park, check if the cap clicks tightly, and inspect it for dry-rotted cracks. Additionally, look safely under the vehicle for obvious fluid leaks and note the exact timing. Like, did this happen immediately after a freezing cold start or right after hitting a massive pothole? Gathering this context makes you a highly prepared car owner.
So eventually, a mechanic or an auto parts store will plug a little reader into your car's computer to pull what's called a scan code. Understanding what this code actually is will save you from the single most expensive misunderstanding in car repair. A scan code is simply a digital clue. It points toward a specific system or condition, but it is not an instruction to blindly replace one exact part. For example, a code might specifically mention an oxygen sensor. Now, a classic rookie mistake is buying a brand new, very expensive oxygen sensor and swapping it out, only to have the light return the very next day. Why? Because the sensor wasn't actually broken. It was simply doing its job perfectly by correctly reporting that there was a massive vacuum leak somewhere else entirely in the engine. And because scan codes are just clues, you should never ever just clear the code to turn off the light and hope for the best. Clearing a code does absolutely nothing to fix the root mechanical cause. It merely removes the dashboard warning until the car's computer runs its internal tests and, inevitably, detects the exact same problem again. But even worse, clearing the code deletes something called freeze frame data. This is highly specific data capturing the exact vehicle speed, engine RPM, coolant temperature, and engine load at the precise millisecond the failure occurred. Think of it like the security camera footage of the breakdown. That freeze frame data is pure gold for a good mechanic trying to diagnose an intermittent problem. If you clear the code, you literally delete their best diagnostic tool. Section 5. Talking to your mechanic. All right, so you've assessed the situation safely, you've gathered your clues, and now it's time to communicate with a repair shop. When you walk up to the service desk, this is exactly what you should sound like. The check engine light came on yesterday. It is steady. The car drives normally, but fuel economy seems lower. Can you scan it and explain the code before replacing parts? Guys, this is a tremendously powerful sentence. It provides the exact timeline, the warning urgency, the physical symptoms, and most importantly, it establishes a firm professional boundary. You are setting the expectation right out of the gate that a proper methodical diagnosis must happen before anyone starts ordering expensive parts. Once the mechanic has looked at the car, do not let technical confusion pressure you into immediately pulling out your credit card. You need to ask professional customer questions. What exact codes were found? What physical tests confirmed that this specific part is faulty? This question is crucial because it prevents the dreaded parts cannon approach, where a lazy mechanic just guesses and throws multiple expensive parts at the car, hoping one of them actually works. Ask, is this repair an urgent safety issue, or is it safe to delay? Are parts and labor clearly separated on my estimate? Separating parts and labor ensures you aren't being quietly price gouged with massive markups on cheap aftermarket parts. Look, if a shop gets defensive or just cannot explain their diagnosis clearly when you ask these completely reasonable questions, you need to slow down. Just think about the massive difference in approach here. An unprepared driver walks in, practically throws their keys at the desk, and says, "My car has a light on, fix it." They provide zero context, they guess at what the problem might be, and they instantly hand over total control of the conversation. The prepared driver, however, using the 6-step framework, provides a timeline, demands actual proof of the diagnosis, and requires itemized, clear estimates. It is the fundamental difference between guessing in a panic and making a confident, truly informed financial decision. And to maintain that level of control over the entire lifespan of your vehicle, keep a simple repair log. Seriously, just jot down the date, the exact mileage, the specific warning light, the exact diagnostic code they pulled, the repair performed, and the final cost. Mechanical problems very often have distinct patterns. This gives you incredible leverage. For instance, if you pay $400 to fix an engine misfire and the light comes back on 3 days later with the exact same code, your log proves that their initial diagnosis was incorrect. This protects you from being charged a second diagnostic fee for the exact same unresolved issue. It's basically your receipt of proof. Oh, and a quick, crucial side note for anyone in the market for a used vehicle. Never, ever let the excitement of a new purchase make you ignore a glowing dashboard. An unscrupulous seller might assure you, oh, don't worry about that light, it's just a minor cheap sensor. Do not make a massive financial commitment based on a seller's promise. Sellers have been known to clear codes with a cheap $15 scanner in the parking lot right before a test drive, or even physically remove the bulb from the dashboard cluster. That warning light requires absolute caution. A thorough diagnostic scan and a pre-purchase inspection from an independent shop of your choosing is completely non-negotiable. Which brings us to the core thesis of this entire explainer. Know exactly what is wrong before you pay. You really don't need to memorize how to read fuel trims or understand the intricate details of a mass airflow sensor. Real automotive confidence is not about pretending to be an expert mechanic. It is simply refusing to be helpless. A good mechanic's job is to conclusively prove the mechanical failure to you, the customer, before they ever touch your wallet. It's about understanding the warning level, staying calm, and knowing exactly what questions to ask. So I'll leave you with this final thought to consider. Are you going to let fear and confusion control your wallet the next time that little orange light pops on? Or are you ready to take charge, utilize the 6-step framework, and make smart, informed decisions? The choice and the savings are entirely in your hands. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I'll see you next time.